trying to get a nice clean shot here. I still haven't looked up to see what, every time it pops up, I noticed it, and I don't know if it's been there from the beginning. I noticed top fans, and so I'm not sure what that is, but ultimately I'll remember to go check that out, top fans. So out here in the car, I'm about to go see the, what is it? I'm about to go see a movie, take a little break from editing. I was editing the short film I've been working on for the last couple of weeks. I'm still making some more minor updates to the dialogue track. Remember, I had told you guys we had to do ADR, and it came out good. The first time I thought just okay good. So the producer pointed out a few things to update. So I started working on that, and I did my version. And then we brought in a sound guy who has some experience in ADR, and he did a really good version. I think he has Pro Tools or some other version of audio software, and he has experience. He's actually a musician. I didn't know how established he was. Kind of recognizable musician, I think. And but he's a great guy, cameraman, and does sound. So he put together a nice mix for us, and I put that into 2 scenes that we had created. When we did the film, what had happened, which wasn't correct, and I always tell you guys to do when you're doing your pre-production, you want to scout the locations. And here's an example of me. I didn't scout the location. I left the location up to our producer, and she did a great job. She found a great location. The location was great. The only downside of the location was that it was near a major freeway here in Los Angeles. And if any of you are familiar with the freeways here in Los Angeles, they're busy all the time. And so it was up on a hill, but the sound was so loud that we could barely hear them doing the lines while we were outside shooting. So I knew there was no reason for me to even attempt to try to figure out if there was a way to mic them physically or to try to boom it. And so we decided to shoot it and then do ADR later. So that was something that it was necessary. There was no way around it. But most likely what I would have done if I had known in advance, I would have tried to look for a different location to shoot the exteriors, because as it turns out, the exterior of the house was not usable. It was on a hill, but down a little flight of steps, and you couldn't see the house from the street. So with all those issues, we decided to use a different location for the establishing shot of the house, and that worked out great. We actually put the house in the house was really nice, really high quality, and we put the house in a different area of Los Angeles. So it worked out great, but the sound didn't. So we had to loop the sound, which is also called ADR, and that stands for automatic dialogue replacement. If you're ever working on a film and you're an actor and they tell you to come in for ADR, that's what they mean. What happened was some of the location sound was not up to snuff, and the producer or the director wants to re-record the dialogue that will be used in the film. I have a story I love to tell. I'll tell it right now, I guess I have some time. Years ago, I was directing a music video, and this was, wow, almost 20 years ago. I was directing a music video, and a producer that worked on, he worked for, I think it was Fox Television or something like that, somewhere NBC or something, a major network. He came in, and he was a friend of somebody, so he was watching the behind the scenes of us filming the music video. And they introduced me to him, and we shook hands, we talked a little bit, and then he asked me, he said, "Have you ever done any ADR?" And I said, "No, not really, but I'm willing to try. I'm an actor in SAG." He asked me if I was in the union. I said yes, because it was a union job. And turns out that he was producing the ADR for Menace to Society. I think that was one of the movies that the Hudlin brothers had directed. And so he needed somebody to come in, do one day of work to loop the profanity to clean up Sam Jackson. So yeah, that was me. That was the old days. Well, they still do that nowadays, but it was a couple of scenes for television. The movie was going to be shown on network television, so they couldn't have all that profanity. So they brought me in, and I did the looping. That was my first experience of looping. And so I had to change all his curse words to funny curses. So shoot and damn and darn and all that kind of stuff. And it worked out pretty well. I never saw the version with me doing the looping for Sam Jackson, and but it was a great experience, and that was my first experience with looping. So as years go on, I continued to do it when necessary, and sometimes I even got hired by a couple of films, independent films, major films. One that I did was for Netflix. It was called Cuties, and I think I played 2 characters in there, or 3. The main character was this African. He was a African clergyman, whatever, something like that, and I had to replace his lines, and that went really well. And that movie went on to get some controversy because of the ages of the young girls in the movie. There was nothing really sexual between any of the girls and the men, but it was just the fact that the girls were being sexualized in the movie. And at that time, I didn't even think about it. Didn't cross my mind because I was thinking on the lines of what they say, cute little girls dancing to music and performing dance moves like cheerleaders. But then when I started thinking about the controversy and actually looked at some of the film, I was like, yeah, maybe it's going a little bit too far because they were really young. And but anyway, that was another experience of looping. So over the years, I've done a number of looping assignments, and a lot for my own projects. Sometimes when the sound comes out bad, or the sound man is making a mistake and the mic is rattling and you can't get rid of it anyway, sometimes you need to bring the actors back in just to say a couple of words, a couple of lines. It's usually never the whole movie. I have also thought about, which I've never done, I would like to do a short film and loop the whole thing, like the old spaghetti westerns where they would have to loop the whole movie. They would add in all the sound effects. It's great. They would add in all the sound effects, atmosphere, everything. That's why if you go back and you look at any of those spaghetti westerns, you can hear everything. It's kind of like a style, and I like that. I would love to do a project like that where, if somebody touches their keys, you can hear them jingle. If they're walking, you hear all the footsteps. You can hear the knife hitting the plate and the fork as they're cutting their food. And it's just overemphasized. And I love that style. It reminds you of those old spaghetti westerns. And sometimes in scenes when I've directed a movie, I've played up certain sounds just to use as a creative choice. And I really enjoy that as far as editing goes. Even in this short film that I just directed, when we started doing some of the ADR, the sound man created some footsteps as our person was walking up, our actress was walking up. Sounded great. And he made some splashes for it as a scene where they're talking in the hot tub. So he did some of that sound design that I like. I love to sometimes exaggerate sound design. It's just another little element that you can use when you're directing a film and you're making a project and you want something to stand out. You can have and we see that a lot. You'll see someone light a lighter and you'll hear that sound. You'll hear the sound of the lighter exaggerated or overemphasized for effect to make you take attention. And you'll definitely hear it when someone's smoking a cigarette. They used to do it all the time, but nowadays they do it a lot too to, emphasize the cigarette, to put focus on it. You'll hear them drawing in the breath and you'll hear the burn on the edge of the cigarette. I love those kind of effects. So all that is sound design and ADR, automatic dialogue replacement. So that's what we had to do on the recent short film I directed. And it's coming along really well. Right before I left home just now, I did doing a little bit of editing on it. I had got a sound file last night from the sound person who had created an additional try at some of the dialogue that needed to be replaced, just to get it just a little bit closer. So, it's right on. And sometimes if it's a little bit off, what I do is you make what's called an L edit, where if someone's talking, like I'm talking right now, and then someone was in the car with me, you'd do a cutaway to them, but you'd still see me talking. So that's called an L edit. And those are used all the time in film and television. So again, I'm going to jump off right now. I see you guys. If you haven't, go to my site and please subscribe. My subscriber count is going up and I'm so excited about it. Even my watch hours are slowly creeping up. I'm trying to get to that number of watch hours for monetization, and also the same goal you have to reach for 4,000 subscribers. And it's taken me a little bit of time, but I think I'm going to be able to do it. And I'm happy that I'm here on YouTube finally, working towards monetization. I've been on YouTube for 19 years, and I never really even considered trying to become monetized. I don't remember exactly the date. The whole 19 years, I mean, the whole 20 years that YouTube has been in existence, they didn't have monetization program. I think monetization, now I'm guessing, started around 2000, I can't remember, was it 2006 or something like that? I'm not sure. But if you know, please leave it down in the comments for me. When did monetization start on YouTube? If you happen to know that. And if you have any questions or you want to look at some of my work, I appreciate that. Please follow the link below and go look at some of my samples on my page. I have some new comedy that I put up there. Oh, one thing I wanted to talk about a little bit, was I have this new, and I want some feedback from you guys on this new idea I had. I told you I'm planning to put more comedy on there. So what I started to do was I started to go into the Internet Archive, and I found this old comedian from the 1920s. And I'm taking some of his shorts and I'm adding my voice over top of it, adding some little comedy, not putting anything down, just adding some funny elements that I think are funny to the scenes that are being said. Doing a little bit of recutting as far as removing the slates and stuff like that, putting on some new music, new titles, and just giving it a refurbish, a refresh. And I cut the first two. The first two are called At First Sight, and you'll find that on my website. It's near the top of my recent videos. So yeah, take a look at those and tell me whether you like it. Leave it down in the comments whether you think this is, something humorous. It's not, it's not laughing, falling out of your chair, but it's funny. It's fun to see those old films and to see them with a little bit of new light. I didn't do anything to the film itself except maybe I cut out the title cards in between, and I fill in what's happening with my voiceover. And so it's fun. I practiced it a few times, try to plan what I'm going to go with this, following the script, following the scenes, the video. So I see the video and I follow along, making my comments, practice it a few times before I do it, and then I just try to do it in one take. I did the first episode and got some views, more surprising than I thought. So some of you guys liked it, some of you guys watched it. And then the second part, the conclusion, I usually break them into 2 or 3 parts. And if they're really long, then I'll have to break them into multiple parts. But I decided to do some shorts first. And it's fun. It looks good. I think it's a nice little change from what you see here on YouTube. And go check it out, take a look, and tell me what you think. Leave it down in the comments. And also, please subscribe to my channel if you hadn't. I appreciate it. And tell some people about what I'm doing here. Doing a little bit of education for free, dealing with focusing on acting, directing, and editing. And then on the other side, I'm creating some original comedy skits. So I have some more in the works. Got a lot of ideas, got a long YouTube idea list that I've been generating. And I plan to bring you more comedy and content here on YouTube. So I'll jump back on later. I'm going to take a break now and take a look at what's going on my analytics and check my email. So I will see you later.